Welcome back to the channel. This is Oscar with Third Pedal Foxbody. In this episode, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be dropping the tank down and I'm going to be changing out the fuel pump. Finally, I got myself a fuel pump. I'm going to be swapping it out and hopefully that's going to fix our starting issues. So I got a pretty good feeling that it is a fuel pump, and just recently I bought this probe that is going to help me test the old fuel pump and the new fuel pump to make sure that that's the issue. So come along for the ride. Let me show you guys what I got. All right guys, so what we have right here is this is my fuel pump. I got the full unit. I opted out to just get it all together just because, believe it or not, it was a lot less expensive than just getting the fuel pump. It already came with the socket, already came with all the connections. Everything was ready to rock and roll. And as you guys can see, it's basically brand new. But I wanted to make sure that it was working condition before I drop the tank and then, have more issues. And I was looking for ways to test it, and then I found a really cool way to test it with this probe right here. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to hook up to 12 volts, and then it allows you to power this thing on. So I'm going to put down my microphone down closer to here so you guys can see how the fuel pump kicks on. So all you really have to do is you got to put the negative right here. I'm going to put the negative right here, just like that. And then I'm going to hook up my connectors to the 12 volt battery. As you can see, I have 12.2 volts on the battery right now. And then all you really have to do is touch this right here. And let me put the microphone a little closer, see if you guys can hear it prime. So you just push the positive, push power to it, and then you can actually hear the fuel pump come on. Hear that? There we go. So that's how we know that the fuel pump does work, and let's go ahead and drop the tank now that we checked for that. All right guys, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna jack up the car. I'm gonna put the jack stands on it, and then I'm gonna start unbolting, unscrewing stuff. That way I can drop the gas tank, and then I'm gonna put the gas tank out here, and then I'm gonna show you guys exactly how the old fuel pump's condition was. We're gonna take it all together, and then you guys can see what the little process is like. All right, now that we got the car jacked up, what I'm gonna do is I start unbolting screws. The filler neck screw right here. We had some 10 millimeters, but you can't really see from there, but they're all missing. So I'm going to relocate the camera down here so you guys can see. I'm going to unplug the connection, and then we'll start bringing the tank down. I am going to use the jack to help me guide the tank because I got about 2 gallons of fuel in the car right now. Let's go ahead and do that. All right guys, now that I'm down here, I'm going to disconnect the electrical connector right here for the fuel pump. And man, this thing is kind of messed up. I got to get this bolt off right here from the gooseneck filler so this can be able to drop. And then I got to get down here and unscrew the 2 bolts back here. That way I can be able to take the straps down. I got to put the jack right here so that I can be able to help me bring the tank down and then be able to disconnect the fuel lines from up there. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that I was down here, I should have definitely worn safety glasses because, man, there was so much dust falling into my eyes. But anyway, I continued to start removing the straps of those bolts. I should have used some PP plaster because, man, they were really, really tough to get off. But nonetheless, I started getting the bolts down, and I had to readjust the jack a little bit here and there. But once I got both bolts down, I could free up the tank, and it started to loosen up. It started to come down pretty easy. So the hard part was pretty much done. All right, so now that I unbolted pretty much everything, I'm gonna bring you guys down here so you guys can kind of see. I'm gonna wiggle out the filler neck right here. I'm gonna wiggle this thing out really fast, and then I already have the tank kind of held up with the jack. I didn't disconnect the lines yet because I'm not sure if I'm gonna just bring the whole tank all the way out, or I'm just gonna drop it enough so that I can be able to remove the fuel pump and then just put it right back up. I'm trying to make my job a little easier. So let's just go ahead and wiggle this thing out. There we go. All right, it's all the way out. Now I'm gonna slowly bring down the jack, and hopefully I don't spill anything. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at this wiring right here, because I do see some stuff that I really don't like. Let's go ahead and check this bad boy out. Well, this wire is kind of exposed right there. That wire is kind of exposed right there, but all right, we have the gas tank down, guys. We have it. That's the main part. Now I have to get the little tool to remove these fuel lines right here. Once I remove those fuel lines and I separate this, I should be able to separate and bring the tank all the way out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna bring it all the way out. I don't see the necessity for it. I kind of want to leave it in the same area and try to work around it. That way I can be able to get the fuel pump out of there and then put it right back in. I am going to clean around here though, because I don't want none of this to go down into the tanks. See, I'm wondering what this pink cable that runs all the way to the front of the car is for. And the only thing I could kind of think about, maybe you guys can put it down in the comment section if you guys know, but I'm just wondering if they bypass the fuel pump relay with this connector right here, because it runs all the way to the front of the car. And whoever made this connection, they used this yellow and black wire, and then they just attached this pink wire all the way through. So they spliced it here. I'm not sure where they cut it from. They probably cut it from here, I'm guessing. And then they ran it all the way. So I'm wondering if they bypassed the fuel pump relay by doing this. That I'm not sure. Because like I mentioned, I did find the relay location, which is all the way in the front of the car, but there's no relay on it. So for those of you guys who have experience, please let me know if that's something that you guys have seen in the past before, because I do see that it was spliced or cut right here, from here, right? And now they just ran it direct. Interesting. But I gotta clean around here. And guys, by all means, like I said, I'm a novice. I'm just trying to figure it out on my own. So don't beat me up too much in the comment section. I just want to make sure that I can do everything in my power to get my car running. So if this is the wrong way to do it, don't follow my lead. Like I said, follow those guys that I mentioned in the previous video. Guys, just a quick little recap of what I just did. I dropped the tank down and I was inspecting some of those wires that were cut, and I was inspecting that wire that runs all the way across my car. Let me show you guys. This pink wire runs all the way through here, all the way back there, but it lands right over there. And I went back and I looked at some videos to make sure that I'm wondering if that was connected the whole time and it just kind of fell off the ignition switch, but it wasn't. I have videos where I turn the car on without that wire, and I can see it runs through here and it runs through here, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, I think this is as far as I'm going to get on this video with this, because I do want to figure out what I want to do, if I want to go back to hooking up that black and yellow wire to the original format and get rid of that pink wire that runs all the way across the car like that. And then I need to figure out if that is what turns on the relay, or if that is for fuel pump relay or not. And I'm not sure if I want to kind of go back and make it back to original or not. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I mean, you know, I got a lot done today, and I got to just figure out some stuff. You know, I never encountered anything like that. And like I said, when I got this car, I mean, this car came with a lot of surprises. But I really, really want to make sure that this car is back to stock form, back to its originality, back to make sure that it cranks when it has to. I mean, just I want to clean up that wiring situation. You know, to be honest, I'm not really sure what to think of it at the moment, but at least for this video I dropped the tank. I definitely got to go through that. I got to research, I got to read, I got to look at some videos, because like I said, I'm a novice. I'm just following instructions of what I see, how it gets done, and then from there I'll be able to tell. So thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I hope you guys liked it, and tune in for the next video when we remove those fuel lines, bring out the tank all the way out here, and then figure out what I'm going to do with that wiring situation, put the new fuel pump back on, put it up, and then go to crank, and hopefully the car turns on. So thank you all so much. Once again, Oscar with Third Pedal Foxbody. I really appreciate everybody's help. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.